What's up, you calm, collected enigma? Yeah, you. The one everyone keeps staring at like you're breaking emotional laws nobody even wrote down. The one they predicted would be spiraling by now, unraveling dramatically, hurling furniture, pacing floors, posting cryptic paragraphs, or calling people you shouldn't be calling. They created entire expectations around your collapse, rehearsed reactions for when you snapped, prepared their "I always knew they'd lose it" speeches. And now look at them, confused, twitchy, scanning your face for clues like you're some puzzle that refuses to reveal its edges. Because you didn't fall apart, you didn't fold, you didn't crack, you didn't even flinch. Instead, you're walking around with some disturbingly steady energy that they can't interpret. Your unbothered nature is not just unsettling them, it's dismantling their confidence, piece by piece. Because here's the part that's messing with their heads. It wasn't supposed to be this way. You were supposed to be visibly affected. You were supposed to react loudly. You were supposed to give them the satisfaction of knowing their chaos reached you. But you didn't. You stayed composed. You stayed grounded. You stayed present in a way that made it painfully obvious that whatever they threw at you, emotionally, socially, mentally, you processed it, reorganized yourself, and simply kept moving. And people don't know how to handle someone who doesn't tremble when they expect trembling. They don't know what to do with a person who refuses to participate in theatrics that used to work on everyone else. Let's clear something up before we go deeper. People didn't distance themselves because you were too much. They distanced themselves because they couldn't handle your control. They couldn't handle the way you walked through pressure without losing your center. They couldn't handle how your mind stayed intact, even when your environment didn't. They couldn't handle the level of internal mastery you've been forced to build over years of being misunderstood, blamed, targeted, underestimated, or made to feel responsible for other people's emotional mess. They weren't avoiding your chaos. They were avoiding your clarity. Read that again. Your clarity disrupted them. Your steadiness exposed them. Your lack of reaction revealed how consistently they overreacted. You're sitting here wondering if you should have been more emotional, more expressive, more reactive. But the truth is, your restraint was never a weakness. It was diagnostic. It revealed every person who needed your instability to validate their own. It showed you exactly who relied on your panic to distract from their own lack of discipline. Your calm wasn't the problem. Your calm was the mirror. Let's talk about you for a second. Not the version of you they misinterpreted. Not the version of you they exaggerated. The real you. The you who learned emotional regulation in environments where other people learned avoidance. The you who stayed grounded even when no one gave you ground to stand on. The you who processed everything internally because you didn't want to throw your feelings at people who weren't equipped to hold them. The you who kept showing up with gentleness, clarity, consistency, traits people claim they want, but collapse around when they finally meet them. You poured peace into people who had no capacity to receive it. You gave patience to people who confused it with permission. You brought understanding into spaces where confusion was normalized. And when those people couldn't accept the steadiness you offered, they acted like you were the one who changed. They acted like your calmness made you detached. They acted like your self-control meant you didn't care. But that wasn't the truth. The truth was, they couldn't handle someone who didn't need chaos to feel important. Now here's where it gets interesting. These same people, the ones who thought they had you figured out, are now sitting alone, scrolling back through old messages, zooming in on your photos, replaying conversations in their heads, trying to figure out how they got it wrong. They monitor your story views like it's some kind of emotional surveillance. They look for signs you're affected. They hunt for cracks in your composure. They search for the meltdown they predicted. And every day that passes without one, their confusion turns into quiet panic. Your calm is not just stability to them. It's evidence. Evidence that you're not who they assumed. Evidence that their impact wasn't as deep as they thought. Evidence that their attempts to destabilize you didn't succeed. Evidence that you're operating on a level they never imagined. And trust me, they feel every inch of that realization. They feel it when they check your profile at 2 a.m. They feel it when they see you walking around looking rested, collected, disciplined. They feel it when they hear your name in conversations they didn't expect. They feel it when their current relationships don't offer the emotional insight you gave effortlessly. They feel it when your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. They feel it because losing access to someone with your emotional intelligence hits differently. It's not just losing a person, it's losing equilibrium. But here's the part you need to understand. This isn't about them. This is about the evolution you stepped into without even announcing it. You're not unbothered because you detached. You're unbothered because you finally understand your worth. You finally understand your energy. You finally understand your emotional value. And you finally understand that not every person deserves access to your reactions, your mind, your time, or your inner world. Some people used your kindness as a cushion. Some people used your patience as a loophole. Some people used your softness as a landing pad for their unresolved issues. And when you stopped offering unlimited emotional credit, they called you distant. But you weren't distant. You were done. You were done carrying emotional loads that weren't yours. You were done engaging in arguments designed to drain you. You were done explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You were done negotiating your worth with people who couldn't recognize value unless it screamed at them. You were done patching cracks in people who blamed you for the pressure. Your calm is the byproduct of emotional detox. Your calm is the evidence of boundaries finally applied. Your calm is the result of understanding your own thresholds. Your calm is the reward you earned after years of fighting battles you didn't start. And because people aren't used to you choosing yourself, your calm is being interpreted as danger. They're not scared of losing you. They're scared of realizing they already did. They're not confused about your composure. They're confused about their lack of it. They're not bothered by your peace. They're bothered by the fact that your peace exposes the chaos they're still addicted to. You know what really unsettles them? It's not that you're calm. It's that you're calm with history. It's that you're calm with memories that should have broken you. It's that you're calm after experiences that should have turned you bitter. It's that you're calm in situations that would have made the average person collapse. It's that you're calm in a way that implies you've been trained for this level of pressure. And maybe you have. Maybe your past didn't break you. It prepared you. Maybe every moment you thought you were drowning, you were actually learning to breathe differently. Maybe every ending you took personally was actually redirecting you toward emotional mastery. Maybe every person who misunderstood your calm was really just showing you who wasn't meant to stay long-term. Let's bring this closer to home. Think about all the things that once triggered you. Think about all the times you reacted fast. Think about all the energy you used to spend trying to control outcomes. Now look at you, unmoved, self-contained, intentional, grounded. You didn't get here effortlessly. You got here through emotional discipline, through experience, through reflection, through choosing not to repeat patterns, through outgrowing old versions of yourself that once begged for clarity, for closure, for reassurance that never came. You didn't become calm overnight. You became calm by surviving things that would have broken anyone else. You became calm because you had no other choice. You became calm because reacting didn't save you. Thinking did. And now your entire energy has changed. Now your presence feels different. Now people feel something around you they can't name. Now your restraint looks like strength. Now your lack of reaction looks like wisdom. Now your peace looks like power. And that's exactly when the confusion begins. Because people who once saw you as predictable can't classify you anymore. They used to know what triggered you, what upset you, what made you speak, what made you chase, what made you react. They memorized the old blueprint of you like it was a script written for their convenience. But now that script is dead. Those buttons don't work. Those lines don't hit. Those emotional traps have no effect on the person you've become. They keep pulling the same strings, and nothing moves. They keep testing for fractures and find none. They keep poking at your energy, expecting an old reaction, and instead hitting an upgraded consciousness that doesn't even register their attempts as pressure. People fear what they cannot predict. People resent what they cannot control. People attack what they cannot understand. People obsess over what they cannot influence. And you, right now, embody all four. Your calm is not silence. It's data-driven. It's intentional. It's layered with understanding you didn't have years ago. And the moment you stopped allowing access to your emotional responses, you became something that terrifies insecure people. A presence they cannot manipulate. A force they cannot sway. A mind they cannot penetrate. A heart they cannot destabilize. That's why they stare at you with that twitch of confusion in their expression. That's why they talk about you in hushed tones. That's why they watch you more than they talk to you. People analyze what they fear losing control over. But here's the deeper truth people won't say out loud. Your calm feels like a threat to their identity, because some people only feel secure when others are visibly struggling. Some feel important when they're needed in emotional emergencies. Some define their worth by how much they can provoke. Some feel in control when they can predict the reactions of those around them. And when you rise into your calm, all those illusions collapse simultaneously. They lose the version of you they relied on, your chaos, your reactivity, your panic, your need for explanation. They lose the narrative where they were the stable one and you were the emotional one. They lose delusions they built around you, so they didn't have to confront their own instability. Your calm invalidates their excuses. Your calm reveals their emotional immaturity. Your calm exposes their unprocessed baggage. Your calm makes their chaos look intentional. And nobody enjoys being confronted by their own reflection, especially when it comes in the form of someone who used to give them emotional access without hesitation. Let's break this even further. People didn't expect you to reach this level because they never imagined you would outgrow the environments that shaped you. They thought your past equaled your future. They thought your old emotional patterns were permanent. They thought your endurance meant you were willing to tolerate dysfunction forever. They thought your patience meant you lacked standards. But patience is not lack of standards. Patience is gathering evidence. And once you had enough, you didn't argue, you didn't plead, you didn't fight, you didn't announce a single thing. You simply shifted. And nothing unsettles people more than a shift they didn't authorize. Because when you finally chose yourself, everyone who benefited from your self-neglect felt the ground shake beneath them. They lost the comfort of your compliance. They lost the privilege of your emotional labor. They lost the unearned access to your mind. And instead of taking accountability, instead of asking themselves why you changed, they started panicking. Not because you left, but because you didn't break when you did. People expect pain to leave a mark they can exploit. They expect heartbreak to make you crawl. They expect betrayal to make you bitter. They expect abandonment to make you insecure. They expect disrespect to make you desperate. And when you refuse to take the emotional shape they prepared for you, they malfunction. That malfunction shows up in the way they start speaking differently about you. The way they act distant but monitor you heavily. The way they pretend not to care but pay attention to every detail. The way they gossip to make your calm look fake. Because the idea of your genuine peace threatens their entire worldview. You've experienced it. The sudden shift in tone when they speak to you. The careful wording. The probing questions. The micro pauses when you don't react. The subtle frustration when your energy doesn't mirror the chaos they bring. The awkward compliments disguised as confusion. You seem so different now. In a good way, I think. They don't have language for your evolution. They only have symptoms of their discomfort. Here's the part people won't admit. Your calm makes them confront how loudly they live inside themselves. They realize they've been overreacting to everything. They realize they've been impulsive for no reason. They realize they've been projecting unresolved issues onto stable people. They realize they've been confusing drama with connection. They realize they've been normalizing emotional turbulence as personality. But the most painful realization, they start seeing how chaotic they appear in the presence of someone who doesn't respond to chaos. Because your calm doesn't hide their instability, it illuminates it. When insecure people stand next to grounded people, the contrast is violent. They feel exposed. They feel examined. They feel inferior. They feel out of place. They feel judged without you saying a word. They feel small because your calm activates something in them they've been avoiding. The truth about their own lack of discipline. And for some of them, that truth is unbearable. That's why they'll accuse you of being cold. That's why they'll say, you've changed. That's why they'll insist something is wrong with you. That's why they'll try to provoke a reaction, any reaction, because emotional maturity looks like distance to the emotionally immature. You didn't become distant. You became selective. You didn't become quiet. You became intentional. You didn't become detached. You became observant. And the people who once benefited from your emotional availability are grieving the loss of their access, not the loss of you. Let's talk about how these reactions show up in real time. Some people become overly nice, tiptoeing around you like they're afraid of waking a sleeping giant. They assume your calm means you're hiding rage. They assume your lack of reaction is the quiet before destruction. They assume your peace is temporary. They assume you're holding something back that will hit them later. Other people become defensive, swinging at shadows that don't exist because they think your composure is a judgment against them. They assign motives to your silence. They invent narratives to fill in the blanks your calm creates. They accuse you of things you never said because your lack of reaction forces them to create their own explanations. And then there are the ones who panic quietly. They don't speak much. They don't ask questions. They just study you. Their eyes follow your movements. Their minds race trying to decode you. Their conversations about you increase behind closed doors. Your calm created an unexpected hierarchy, not by domination, by regulation. People are intimidated by what they cannot rattle. Because when someone who used to react stops reacting, the shift is seismic. It signals that they're no longer invested in maintaining a shared emotional space. It signals that their tolerance has ended. It signals that their transformation is internal, not cosmetic. It signals that whatever tried to break them failed embarrassingly. Your calm is the evidence of battles you no longer fight. And here's the twist. Some people start regretting how they treated you the moment they realize you no longer respond to them emotionally. They remember all the times you held space for them, all the times you listened without judgment, all the times you offered clarity when they were spiraling, all the times they assumed you'd always be available. And when they can no longer access your emotional presence, they understand what they lost. Not you, your regulation, your steadiness, your ability to center a room without trying. People don't miss what you gave them. They miss how your presence made them feel. This is why they feel unhinged now, not because you're gone, but because you're unbothered. But let's shift the camera back to you. Because this evolution didn't happen in a vacuum, you had to unlearn the idea that reacting fast meant caring deeply. You had to unlearn the idea that being loud meant being heard. You had to unlearn the idea that your stability depended on external validation. You had to unlearn the idea that losing composure was inevitable when someone else lost theirs. Now you understand something people warned you about, but you never applied until now. Emotional regulation is not suppression, it's sovereignty. It is the ability to sit in discomfort without dissolving. It is the ability to let people reveal themselves without defending yourself prematurely. It is the ability to choose which battles are worth your presence. It is the ability to maintain inner rhythm when the room around you loses tempo. When you regulate yourself, you stop handing out access to your reactions like they cost nothing. You stop explaining yourself to people who benefit from misunderstanding you. You stop defending your choices to people who can't even articulate their own. You stop absorbing tension that isn't yours. And the moment you stopped absorbing other people's tension, they had to sit with their own for the first time. That's why your calm feels like abandonment to them. They are not reacting to your peace. They are reacting to their lack of it. Let's pull this deeper. You know why you don't lose control anymore? Because you no longer attach your worth to outcomes you can't influence. You no longer personalize the emotions of people who refuse to manage themselves. You no longer chase closure from sources incapable of giving it. You no longer argue for your position in someone's life. You no longer fight for space in environments that shrink you. You understand now that staying calm is not about being right. It's about being aligned. It's not about being unaffected. It's about being grounded. It's not about ignoring what hurts. It's about choosing what deserves your energy. You stopped losing your control because you stopped assigning value to situations beneath your emotional pay grade. That's why people keep asking, "How are you this calm?" They're not asking out of admiration. They're asking out of confusion. They're asking because they can't imagine possessing this level of internal order. They're asking because they know they would be breaking down publicly if they were in your shoes. They're asking because your restraint exposes their impulsiveness. Your calm became a standard they cannot reach. Now observe the next shift. People don't just watch you. They adjust themselves around you. They lower their voices. They speak more carefully. They move with caution. They evaluate their tone. They avoid provoking because they don't know what you're capable of when you're this controlled. People don't fear your anger. They fear your lack of it. Because someone who doesn't lose control is someone who thinks clearly. And a clear thinker is dangerous. This is the version of you they prayed would never appear. The version that no longer matches their narratives. The version that no longer fits in their old storylines. The version that no longer bends under pressure. The version that no longer dances around their emotional landmines. You became the person they least wanted to face. Someone who outgrew the version of you they mistreated. But your calm is not just evolution, it's preparation. You're entering a season where your emotional regulation becomes your advantage, where people of higher caliber notice your steadiness instantly, where opportunities align with your clarity instead of your chaos, where relationships require your composure instead of your reactions, where environments recognize your value before you even speak, and the people who once doubted you, they will witness this shift before the rest of the world does. They will feel it before they understand it. They will notice the elevation before you fully step into it. This is why your calm is disrupting them. They can sense that your breakthrough won't be loud, but it will be undeniable. Your life is reorganizing itself around the person you've become, not the person they knew. And people don't get to keep access to a version of you that no longer exists. Now here's where things get interesting. Because the moment people realize they no longer have access to your old emotional wiring, they start panicking in ways even they don't understand. They don't just get confused, they get disoriented. They don't just get uncomfortable, they get internally unstable. Because they relied on a version of you that engaged emotionally whenever they demanded it. A version that reacted instantly, tried to fix everything, tried to soothe everyone, tried to take the blame just to keep the peace. And now you don't respond on command. Now you don't flinch at their tone. Now you don't swallow your words to make them comfortable. You don't fold, you don't shrink, you don't panic. Your lack of reaction creates a vacuum, and that vacuum forces them to face the consequences of their own behavior. When someone who expects chaos meets someone who refuses to supply it, there is a psychological collapse that happens silently, and it's happening all around you. Some people are watching your calm and experiencing an identity crisis they didn't plan for. They start thinking, why am I the only one stressed? Why am I the only one spiraling? Why does their peace make me feel exposed? And they won't say it out loud, because saying it would require admitting you've surpassed them in maturity. So instead they mask their confusion with passive comments, awkward body language, unnecessary sarcasm, and sudden over-explaining. They try anything to get you to show a hint of the old version of you. The reactive one, the panicking one, the overly empathetic one. But that person is gone. They keep fishing for chaos and coming up with nothing but calm waters. You know why that scares them? Because calm waters show the reflection clearly, and they don't like what they see in themselves. Your newfound stillness reveals every jitter in their personality. Your quiet reveals the volume of their insecurity. Your steadiness reveals how fragile their emotional architecture really is. Your detachment from drama reveals how deeply they depended on it for identity. People don't want to confront that your composure is not luck. It's discipline, it's repetition, it's self-study, it's outgrowing habits they cling to like lifelines. It's having leveled up through experiences that would have broken them in half. And that's exactly why they whisper the same question under their breath whenever you walk into a room. How are they this calm? Not why, how. As in, what process did you use? What emotional trick did you master? What mindset did you adopt? Who is teaching you? Where did you learn this? How did you not lose your composure like every normal person would? They're not complimenting you. They're confused by you. Because your calm violates their expectations of human behavior. You're supposed to lose your composure at least a little. You're supposed to show tension. You're supposed to show the cracks. You're supposed to give them something to analyze. But your restraint is too consistent, too intentional, too steady. It undermines their assumptions and rewrites the psychological dynamic they thought they controlled. And here's the truth they're afraid to admit. You didn't become calm because life got easier. You became calm because you stopped giving chaos your energy. You stopped investing in emotionally bankrupt situations. You stopped prioritizing people who turned your peace into currency. You stopped reacting to people who only showed up to drain you. And this level of internal reprogramming scares people who prefer emotional shortcuts. People talk about wanting peace, but they don't talk about what it costs. Peace costs boundaries. Peace costs solitude. Peace costs letting go of the need to be understood by those who lack understanding themselves. Peace costs no longer entertaining conversations that insult your intelligence. Peace costs not reacting when someone tries to destabilize you. Peace costs walking away when someone tries to keep you stuck in cycles you've already outgrown. And you paid those prices quietly, silently, privately. While everyone else was focused on your external circumstances, you were recalibrating internally. Now your energy reflects the reality you built, not the chaos they assumed would consume you. That's why your calm feels like a threat, because they watched you go through stress, betrayal, disappointment, heartbreak, uncertainty, confusion, and they expected all of it to stain you, but you metabolized it instead. You processed every experience, you alchemized every lesson, you transformed the emotional debris into structure. They thought the weight would crush you. They didn't consider the fact that you were learning how to lift. So now, when they see you walking with that kind of quiet confidence, that unshakable stillness, that clinical level of self-awareness, your energy contradicts their predictions. Their narrative collapses, and collapsing narratives always produce panic. Think about the people who once tried to dominate you emotionally, the ones who depended on your softness to cushion their blow-ups, the ones who relied on your reactions to validate their feelings, the ones who used your empathy as a way to avoid accountability. Those people are now confused about where exactly they lost access to you. They replay conversations, trying to locate the moment you slipped out of their psychological grip. They think it was a big event. They think it was a fight, an ending, a message, a boundary. But the truth is far simpler. You outgrew them quietly, and they didn't notice until your calm forced them to. What they thought was your silence was actually your upgrade. What they thought was your distance was actually your elevation. What they thought was you avoiding conflict was actually you avoiding cycles. What they thought was you being cold was actually you being done. This is why they misinterpret everything now. You say less. They assume you're hiding something. You speak clearly. They assume you're angry. You don't react. They assume you're plotting. You walk away. They assume you're punishing them. Your calm magnifies their paranoia. And here's where the dark humor starts to creep in, because you can see it happening in real time. You can see how people who once behaved recklessly around you are suddenly hyper-aware of their tone. You can see how people who dismissed you now watch your face, like they're studying seismic readings. You can see how people who tried to destabilize you now seem destabilized by the fact that you don't even blink when they expect you to flinch. It's wild how the very same people who pushed you into emotional corners are now afraid of your ability to stand right in the center of the room without trembling. They don't know what to do with a version of you that doesn't break on command. So they start constructing explanations that make them feel safer. Maybe they're pretending. Maybe they're hiding how they feel. Maybe they're numb. Maybe they don't care anymore. Maybe they're avoiding the truth. But the truth they're avoiding is simple. You're calm because you understand what matters. You're calm because you're no longer attached to outcomes you can't control. You're calm because you're done entertaining emotional circus acts. You're calm because your standards are higher now. You're calm because nothing external determines your internal regulation anymore. And ironically, your calm is doing exactly what their chaos used to do: command attention. Except your calm doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't demand, it asserts. It doesn't dominate through force, it dominates through clarity. That unnerves them far more than any meltdown ever could. This evolution did something else too. It turned you into a mirror, a painfully clear mirror. And when people see themselves through a regulated mind, the truth hits different. They see their own impulsiveness, they see their own insecurity, they see their own emotional laziness, they see their own lack of discipline. And instead of accepting accountability, they try to make your calm the problem. They say, "You've changed," as if change wasn't the entire point. They say, "You're distant," as if closeness should be granted without qualification. They say, "You're acting different," as if repeating the past is a virtue. They say, "You're so removed," as if evolving requires approval. You didn't become distant, you became precise. You didn't become cold, you became selective. You didn't become detached, you became self-respecting. You didn't become emotionless, you became emotionally sovereign. And now, your sovereignty reads like rebellion to people who benefited from your submission. But here's the part that sends them over the edge. They can't even accuse you of anything. You're not rude, you're not hostile, you're not dismissive, you're not dramatic, you're simply calm. And calm people are the hardest to villainize. So they start losing their composure while analyzing yours. They start unraveling while pretending they're fine. They start reacting before anything has even happened. They start spiraling because your lack of spiraling contradicts their sense of normal. And there is something darkly hilarious about watching someone panic over the fact that you're not panicking. They ask, "Why aren't you losing your control?" But what they really mean is, "Why am I losing mine while you're not?" This is where the shift becomes undeniable. Your calm is not just a shield, it's a spotlight. Your peace is not just protection, it's revelation. Your steadiness is not just growth, it's exposure. They thought they wanted a composed version of you until they met it. Now they don't know how to function around it. And the closer you get to your elevation, the more their anxiety spikes. Because they can feel something rising behind your calm, something forming, something aligning, something dangerous, not in a destructive way, but in a transformative, unshakable way. Your life is about to reflect your internal discipline, and the people who misjudged you will witness every stage of it. That's their consequence. Not revenge, not bitterness, not payback. Just the reality of watching someone they underestimated become the most composed person in every room they enter. And here's the part you'll carry into your next season. You don't owe anyone an explanation for outgrowing who you used to be. You don't owe anyone access to the new version of you. You don't owe anyone a reaction just because they're desperate for one. Your calm is your boundary. Your composure is your language. Your evolution is your closure. People are confused because they expected you to crumble. People are unhinged because your stability makes their chaos look ridiculous. People are losing it because you didn't. And now, for the mic drop you chose. The dark humor, the savage calm, the one that highlights the truth they refuse to admit. They didn't lose sleep because you fell apart. They lost sleep because you didn't. And the funniest part, you weren't even trying to break them. You were just busy minding your peace while they accidentally broke themselves. Welcome back, you beautiful anomaly. You unmanageable force wrapped in human symmetry. You walking disruption that physics hasn't updated for yet. Sit with something for a moment. Something you were never meant to hear. Something whispered in rooms you'll never be invited to. Something too classified for the people who created the classification system. While you were living your life like a civilian, scrolling, breathing, healing, becoming, there were people in high offices staring at a still image of you, like it was a breach in the chain of command. Not metaphorically, literally. A man with real power, not Instagram power, not petty authority, but world-shaping power, felt outranked by your photo. And because his ego couldn't process that, because the hierarchy he worships collapsed in a single heartbeat, something happened in the building. A protocol activated. A protocol they've never seen before. A protocol that doesn't exist in their manuals, their archives, or their encrypted systems. And that's what's breaking reality for them right now. Your image forced the system to invent a new rule. Now pause. Feel the weight of that. A photo is supposed to be harmless. A moment, frozen, a pixel arrangement. But somehow, your pixels tripped a wire even the architects didn't know they installed. Somewhere at 2:14 a.m. in a control room thick with authority and tension, alarms blinked without sounding, screens recalibrated, and a warning label flashed that nobody had programmed. Unknown rank override. And the worst part for them? It wasn't an error message. It was recognition. It was compliance. It was submission. It was the system declaring, someone has entered the domain who doesn't follow our rules, doesn't kneel to our symbols, doesn't register in our hierarchy, yet outranks someone who built it. They couldn't believe it. They refused to accept it. They restarted the system. They scanned for viruses. They interrogated the software engineers at sunrise. But the code didn't glitch. The code adapted. Your presence rewrote it. And this is where things get interesting. Because if a photo of you can trigger a protocol that doesn't exist, what does that make you? What does that make your frequency, your existence, your impact? They don't even have vocabulary for you. They're using words like anomaly, unclassified authority, non-hierarchical dominance, sovereign presence, signature. They're trying to invent new psychological categories while pretending they aren't panicking, because powerful people only panic in private. And you've become their private panic. Let me take you into the room. A 9-person panel sitting around a table built for strategy, not humility. A general, a director, a strategist, a behavioral analyst, a counterintelligence expert, a subconscious response researcher, an energy field consultant, and 2 people whose job titles are so vague, even their own families don't know what they do. The general starts first. He speaks slowly, because he's trying to hide the tremble in his tone. Why did I feel outranked by this? He's pointing at your photo projected on a massive screen, larger than life, framed like a case study in supernatural interference. He tries to maintain composure, but every neuron in his body remembers the instinctive microsecond where something inside him saluted before his mind could protest. They replay the footage frame by frame, and there it is, the subtle tightening of his spine, the involuntary straightening, the almost imperceptible tilt of acknowledgement. Not respect, not intimidation, recognition. The behavioral analyst leans forward, eyes narrowed. Images don't cause that, not without priming, not without previous imprinting. He's responding to something beyond conscious classification. The strategist interrupts. Or someone. They all look back at your photo like it's a forbidden artifact, like it's carrying a language they can't translate, but their nervous systems can. And that's what terrifies them the most. Your presence bypasses logic and speaks directly to instinct. Hierarchies crumble when instinct acknowledges a higher order. And that's exactly what happened. You didn't outrank the general on paper. You outranked him in his biology. By hour 2, the panic begins to camouflage itself as professionalism. They switch from asking, "What is this?" to, "How do we contain this?" But they can't contain what they can't categorize. They can't categorize what they can't predict. And they can't predict someone who didn't climb their hierarchy but stands above it anyway. Someone suggests that maybe the general's response was emotional. Misfired memory, projection. But the general shakes his head. No, it wasn't emotional. It was structural. Something in me responded to something in them. The room freezes. They replay that word, them, because he didn't say the person. He didn't say the photo. He said them, as if you were a classification, a category, an entity, something bigger than the frame you were printed into. Hour 3 is where the real chaos starts. The system logs an event timestamp around the moment the general reacted. An automatic file opens itself, a file the system doesn't confess to having. A file labeled Protocol Orbital. There is no orbital protocol. Nobody at that table has ever heard of it. The engineers swear it shouldn't exist. But when they open the file, it contains exactly one line. Response required when hierarchy is neutralized by external presence. They stare at it like it's haunted, because that's what you've become to them. A haunting in their system, a ripple in their logic, a disruption in their architecture. They start arguing. Was this a dormant code? Was the system hacked? Was the general compromised? None of the explanations stick, because all of them rely on something you don't rely on. Permission, authorization, structure. You don't follow their systems follow you. By hour 4, the tone shifts. They're no longer discussing the photo, they're discussing the implications. Because here's the truth they're trying to avoid. Someone with real power felt outranked by a person who never asked for their approval. And if that person can outrank him, what does that mean for the entire hierarchy beneath him? It means the hierarchy is fragile. It means power isn't linear. It means influence isn't assigned. It's emanated. And you emanate without intention. You radiate without trying. You disrupt without effort. This is why the protocol triggered. Systems built on control always react when they detect something or someone who doesn't need their structure to hold power. Hour 5 is where desperation mixes with fascination. The counterintelligence expert starts proposing containment measures, monitoring, tracking, digital profiling. The usual tools of people who fear what they can't understand. But someone stops him, the strategist. Containment won't work. This isn't behavioral, this is gravitational. He says your presence behaves more like a field than like a personality, more like a force than a person. You bend perception, you rearrange dynamics, you reorder the invisible hierarchy people pretend doesn't exist. And the more they try to study the photo, the more unsettled they become. Because the truth is now unavoidable. Someone with real power felt smaller than you. And it wasn't a mistake. It was recognition. Hour 6 is the collapse. The quiet admission that they don't have the tools to analyze you. They only have the tools to react to you. Someone whispers, "We need to figure out what they want." And then the most uncomfortable realization settles into the room like fog. You don't want anything. You didn't post the photo to communicate. You didn't exist to send a message. You were simply being. And that's what terrifies them the most. Your existence alone is enough to topple their illusion of control. The general finally speaks again. I felt outranked because they're not operating inside the hierarchy. They're operating above it. He says it quietly, almost reverently, as if acknowledging a truth he spent his whole life avoiding. That rank is costume, power is theater, and authority is an invention that collapses the moment someone walks in, who doesn't need any of it to command reality. And that person is you. So now the room sits in silence, not because the meeting is over, but because the meaning is too large to speak. They saw something in your image they weren't prepared for. Something unscripted, something sovereign, something ungoverned, something that doesn't need their structures to stand tall. Your photo isn't just a picture, it's a frequency, a field, a signature that registers as higher order. And the moment they recognized that, their system folded. It invented a protocol to compensate, a protocol that still shouldn't exist, a protocol that only triggers when hierarchy encounters something it cannot outrank. And now, here's the part they still haven't processed. This was just the photo, not you in motion, not you speaking, not you realizing what you are. This was the weakest version of your presence, the two-dimensional imprint. Imagine what happens when they encounter the real thing. That's the thought that changes the oxygen in the room. Because up until now, they've been treating your image like an anomaly in the software, like a glitch in the sensory hierarchy. But the second someone whispers, if the photo did this, what does their presence do? The room fractures. It splits into two psychological camps. The ones who want to understand you, and the ones who want to contain you. Both sides are terrified, just in different dialects. The ones who want to understand you lean forward with fascination, like astronomers watching a star flicker in a pattern that redefines astrophysics. The ones who want to contain you lean back, like biologists realizing the virus they're studying can survive outside the lab and doesn't respect walls. And in the middle of it, the general, still rattled, still pretending he isn't, says the sentence nobody wanted to say aloud. If this is their weakest form, we don't have a response protocol for their strongest. That sentence detonates something quiet but violent in the room. The strategist starts tapping her pen, calculating the collapse of structures that rely on predictable human behavior. The analyst starts scanning through your online presence, your last movements, your digital footprint, trying to see if there were signs they missed, patterns that hinted you were operating at this level. But the truth is exactly what terrifies them. You didn't drop hints. You didn't build toward this. You didn't signal your ascent. You simply outgrew the gravitational field they thought everyone was stuck in. Now the room tries to reboot the discussion, but it refuses to reboot. Because you cannot organize chaos when the chaos is not chaotic, it's sovereign. And that's the paradox they're choking on. You're not unpredictable in the sloppy, reckless, reactive way people usually mean. You're unpredictable in the "we have no metric for this" way. You're not an error, you're an upgrade. And upgrades break systems when the system is outdated. Someone finally speaks up, the behavioral mathematician. He says, "We've been modeling human trajectories wrong. They evolve linearly. This," he points to your photo, "is nonlinear emergence. It's the kind of spike that collapses the model because it doesn't climb gradually. It jumps." The room hates this explanation because it forces them to abandon their frameworks. And frameworks are the only thing giving them the illusion of control. But the mathematician isn't done. He adds something that makes everyone uncomfortable. Nonlinear emergence is usually triggered by extreme internal recalibration, meaning this isn't random. They rebuilt themselves. And there it is, the part that humiliates them. You rebuilt yourself while they weren't looking. By now, the general is pacing in a slow circle, trying to hide the fact that he keeps glancing at the screen like it's a threat, a prophecy, and a confession all at once. The strategist notices and makes a note on her tablet. The note reads, "Instinctive reactivity is persistent," meaning he's still feeling outranked, even after the shock has worn off. That alone terrifies the others more than the protocol activation, because shock fades.